In a world where grocery shelves can empty overnight, supply chains buckle under pressure, and natural disasters strike with little warning, the most powerful tool you can have isn't a weapon, a radio, or even a generator, it's food. Not just any food though. The real heroes of survival are the foods that don't spoil. The ones that sit quietly in your pantry for years, even decades, waiting for the moment you need them most. Some of these foods have outlived empires, survived wars, and traveled to space. Others have been buried in tombs only to be unearthed thousands of years later, still edible, still nutritious, still ready to feed another generation. We've ranked the 20 most reliable long-term survival foods, from the practical to the legendary, each one proven not just by science, but by history. These aren't trendy superfoods or futuristic lab creations. They're time-tested staples that have sustained humanity through famine, war, and isolation. And at the top of the list? A food so simple, so powerful, it's practically emotional armor in a jar. At number 20, we have white rice, a grain so fundamental to human survival that it has shaped civilizations, fueled armies, and served as currency in times of collapse. Archaeologists have discovered perfectly preserved rice in ancient Egyptian tombs dating back over 3,000 years, and in some cases, the grains were still capable of sprouting when replanted. This isn't magic, it's the result of a simple truth. White rice, stripped of its oil-rich bran and germ, has almost no moisture and no fat, two things that microbes need to grow. When stored in airtight mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and kept in a cool, dry place, white rice can last 30 years or more without losing its nutritional value. 1 pound delivers over 1,500 calories, making it one of the most calorie-dense shelf-stable foods on the planet. In post-World War II Japan, rice was so trusted and scarce that it became a form of black market currency, traded by the bowl. Even today, in regions prone to disaster, rice remains the first food stockpiled by governments and families alike. It's lightweight, easy to cook, and can be transformed into anything from porridge to stir-fries with minimal ingredients. More than just a staple, rice is a symbol of resilience, a food that has fed billions through war, famine, and upheaval, and will continue to do so for generations to come. Coming in at number 19 are canned vegetables, humble, unglamorous, but undeniably essential. While they may never win a culinary award, canned vegetables are nutritional time capsules, sealed and sterilized through a process called retort canning that involves high-pressure heat to kill all bacteria and spores. This allows them to remain safe and edible for 5 to 10 years or longer when stored properly. What most people don't realize is that canned vegetables often retain more nutrients than their fresh counterparts by the time they reach your plate. Fresh produce loses vitamins during transport and storage, while canned vegetables are picked at peak ripeness, processed immediately, and sealed, locking in essential nutrients like fiber, potassium, and antioxidants. Canned tomatoes, for example, have higher levels of lycopene, a powerful cancer-fighting compound, than raw ones. The liquid inside the can isn't just filler, it's a mineral-rich broth that can be used in soups or even as an emergency source of hydration when clean water is scarce. During the Great Depression, canned vegetables were a lifeline for struggling families, and in World War II, they were a staple in military rations. NASA even used canned carrots and peas in early space missions because they required no refrigeration and retained their nutritional value. In a survival scenario, canned vegetables provide not just calories, but vital micronutrients and a psychological boost, the taste of something green, something familiar, in an otherwise bleak situation. Number 18 is honey, a food so perfectly preserved by nature that archaeologists have found 5,500-year-old jars of it in Georgian tombs, still sweet and edible. Honey doesn't spoil because of a unique combination of factors. It's hygroscopic, meaning it pulls moisture from the air and from microbes. It's highly acidic, with a pH between 3.2 and 4.5, creating an environment where bacteria can't survive, and bees add an enzyme called glucose oxidase, which produces hydrogen peroxide, a natural antiseptic. As long as it's sealed and kept dry, honey will last indefinitely. But honey is more than just a sweetener, it's one of the oldest medicines known to humanity. In ancient Mesopotamia, it was used to embalm the dead. During World War II, British medics smeared it on wounds to prevent infection. Today, hospitals use medical-grade honey to treat burns, ulcers, and even antibiotic-resistant infections like MRSA. It also provides quick energy from natural sugars, making it ideal for boosting stamina in survival situations. If your honey crystallizes, a common occurrence, don't throw it out. That's a sign of purity, not spoilage. Simply warm it gently in a bowl of water, and it returns to its liquid state. Store it in a glass jar with a tight lid, away from sunlight, and one jar could outlive your grandchildren. In a crisis, honey isn't just food, it's medicine, energy, and comfort all in one. At 17, we have ramen noodles, a food often dismissed as junk, yet one of the most practical survival staples ever created. Instant ramen was invented in 1958 by Momofuku Ando in Japan, not as a college student's last resort, but as emergency food in the aftermath of World War II. He called it peace in a cup. The noodles are flash-fried or air-dried, removing nearly all moisture, the key to their 8 to 10-year shelf life. The seasoning packets contain salt, MSG, and dehydrated vegetables, all stable for years. During the 1999 Kosovo crisis, ramen became black market currency in refugee camps. In U.S. prisons, it trades like money, more valuable than cigarettes. Soldiers in Afghanistan relied on it during patrols because it cooks in 3 minutes with just hot water. One brick packs around 380 calories, mostly from carbohydrates, providing quick energy when fuel is scarce. While high in sodium, that salt can actually help prevent dehydration and muscle cramps in survival scenarios. For best results, skip the foam cups, they degrade faster, and opt for brick-style packs stored in vacuum-sealed containers to protect against humidity and pests. Add canned tuna or vegetables, and you've got a complete meal. Ramen may not be gourmet, but in the right moment, it can be the difference between hunger and hope. Number 16 is white vinegar, a product so versatile and durable that it deserves the title of the ultimate survival multi-tool. Vinegar has been used for over 5,000 years, dating back to the Babylonians, who used it as both food and medicine. The word vinegar comes from the French vinaigre, meaning sour wine, but unlike wine, vinegar only gets stronger with age. Its 5% acetic acid content kills bacteria, mold, and viruses on contact, making it a powerful disinfectant. During the 1918 flu pandemic, families hung cloths soaked in vinegar to purify the air. In survival situations, vinegar can clean wounds, sanitize surfaces, preserve food through pickling, remove limescale from water tanks, and even treat fungal infections. It never expires. In fact, old vinegar often develops a richer flavor. Store it in glass, away from direct sunlight, and a single gallon could serve your family for generations. It's also cheap, lightweight, and requires no refrigeration. Whether you're making a salad dressing, cleaning your kitchen, or preserving vegetables, vinegar is a silent guardian in your pantry, simple, effective, and eternal. In the 15th spot is lentils, a humble legume with a legacy stretching back to the dawn of agriculture. Lentils were found in the stomach of Otzi the Iceman, a 5,300-year-old mummy discovered in the Alps, proving they've been a human food source for millennia. Unlike other dried beans, lentils don't require soaking and cook in just 20 to 30 minutes, making them ideal for low-fuel scenarios. When stored in airtight mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, dried lentils can last up to 30 years without losing nutritional value. They're packed with protein, fiber, iron, and complex carbohydrates, making them a complete survival food. 1 cup of cooked lentils delivers 18 grams of protein and keeps you full for hours. Red lentils break down into a creamy texture, perfect for soups and baby food, while green and brown varieties hold their shape, ideal for stews and salads. In ancient Rome, soldiers carried lentil soup as field rations. Today, they're a staple in refugee camps because they're nutritious, affordable, and shelf-stable. Lentils also absorb flavors like a sponge, add spices, broth, or tomato paste, and you've got a hearty, satisfying meal with minimal effort. In a world where plant-based protein is hard to come by, lentils are a rare and powerful ally. Number 14 is powdered milk, a food often overlooked but absolutely essential for long-term survival. Powdered milk was first used by the Union Army during the American Civil War and became standard in military rations by World War II. The spray drying process removes 98% of moisture, halting bacterial growth and allowing it to last 20 years or more when stored properly. Non-fat powdered milk is the best choice for long-term storage, as full-fat versions can go rancid faster. Reconstituted with water, it provides calcium, protein, and vitamin D, critical nutrients that are hard to get in a crisis. Aid organizations like UNICEF use powdered milk to combat malnutrition in famine zones. It's also a key ingredient in survival baking, pancakes, custards, sauces, and even homemade yogurt if you have a starter culture. Once opened, store it in a mylar bag or airtight container with an oxygen absorber to extend its shelf life. Keep it cool and dry, below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and it will remain safe and nutritious for decades. In a world without fresh dairy, powdered milk isn't just a substitute, it's a lifeline. 13th is salt, a mineral so vital to human survival that it once served as currency. The word salary comes from the Latin salarium, the allowance Roman soldiers received to buy salt. For centuries, salt was worth its weight in gold because of its unparalleled ability to preserve food. Through osmosis, salt draws moisture out of meat, fish, and vegetables, creating an environment where bacteria can't survive. Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, and table salt all last indefinitely as long as they stay dry. In the 1800s, pioneers carried salt pork on cross-country journeys. It could last years without spoiling. Salt is also essential for hydration, muscle function, and nerve signaling. In a crisis, dehydration kills faster than hunger, and salt helps the body retain water. Without it, even a diet of rice and beans becomes unbearable. For long-term storage, avoid iodized blends. The additives can degrade over time. Stick to plain salt, store it in bulk in airtight containers, and you'll have an eternal supply of flavor and function. At number 12, we have instant coffee, a beverage that may not be essential for survival, but can save your sanity. Invented in 1890 and perfected by the U.S. Army in World War II, instant coffee was designed for soldiers who needed caffeine without the hassle of brewing. Modern freeze-dried granules preserve 95% of the original bean's flavor and caffeine content. Stored in vacuum-sealed pouches, it can last 20 years or more. In Antarctica, researchers rely on instant coffee because fresh beans aren't an option. Studies show that even the smell of coffee can reduce stress and improve mood. In disaster zones, aid workers often prioritize coffee because it boosts morale and mental clarity. It requires no electricity, no grinder, no machine, just hot water and a stir. It's also lightweight and perfect for bug-out bags. As a bonus, coffee has mild appetite-suppressant effects, which can help stretch food rations. In a world gone dark, that first sip of coffee might be the only normal thing left, a small moment of peace in the chaos. 11 is canned meats, protein-packed, shelf-stable, and ready to eat. Canned meat was born in 1809 when Napoleon offered a prize for food preservation, and a French chef won by sealing meat in glass jars. Today, steel cans with BPA-free liners keep Spam, tuna, chicken, and sardines safe for 5 to 10 years. These foods are calorie-dense, making them essential when energy is scarce. Sardines are especially valuable. Canned with bones, they provide calcium and vitamin D. In World War II, British troops called canned beef makanaki and hated the taste, but it kept them alive. In Hawaii, Spam has been a cultural staple since the war, with locals eating 7 million cans a year. Canned meats can be added to rice, salads, stews, or eaten straight from the can. They don't take up much space and require no cooking, making them ideal for emergencies. When the world collapses, protein becomes rare, but a few cans in your pantry could make all the difference. Number 10 is oats, a grain so versatile it's practically a survival Swiss Army knife. When stored in airtight containers in a cool, dry place, oats can last 30 years or more. Steel-cut oats last longer than instant because they're less processed. Oats contain beta-glucan, a fiber that lowers cholesterol and stabilizes blood sugar, critical in high-stress situations. In Scotland, oatcakes have fed families for centuries, some lasting a year without spoiling. You can cook them into porridge, bake them into granola bars, grind them into flour, or soak them for raw meals. They absorb flavors beautifully. Add honey, cinnamon, or dried fruit, and you've got a comforting, energy-rich dish. Lightweight and compact, oats are perfect for long-term storage and bug-out bags. In a crisis, they're not just food, they're stability. 9 is sugar, often seen as a luxury, but in reality, a vital survival tool. When stored in mylar with oxygen absorbers, granulated sugar lasts indefinitely. It doesn't spoil, degrade, or lose flavor. Sugar is a natural preservative, used for centuries to make jams, chutneys, and candied fruits. It also provides instant energy, delivering 4 calories per gram, crucial when your body is under stress. In polar expeditions, explorers ate sugary pemmican to survive sub-zero temperatures. Sugar can also be used in survival medicine. Mixed with honey, it helps heal wounds. And let's not forget morale. In a world of bland, monotonous food, a little sweetness can lift the spirit. Keep 50 pounds in your pantry, and you've got flavor, fuel, and function in one bag. 8th is oil and ghee, essential cooking fats that add calories, flavor, and nutrition. Most oils last 2 to 3 years, but ghee, clarified butter, can last 5 to 7 years at room temperature, or decades if sealed. Ghee has no water or milk solids, so it doesn't go rancid easily and has a high smoke point, perfect for frying. In Ayurvedic medicine, ghee is sacred, used for healing and rituals. Olive oil is great for dressings and soups. Both add 120 calories per tablespoon, vital when food is scarce. Store oils in dark glass, away from heat, and they'll last for years. 7 is freeze-dried and canned fruits, nature's sweet relief in a crisis. Freeze-dried fruits last 25 years, retaining flavor and nutrients. NASA uses them in space. Canned peaches and pineapple last 3 to 5 years and provide vitamin C, preventing scurvy. They're lightweight, compact, and morale-boosting. 6 is bouillon cubes, tiny flavor bombs that turn plain rice into a meal. Dissolved in water, they make instant soup. In refugee camps, they're distributed to add comfort. They last 10 years and weigh almost nothing. 5 is immerse, meals ready to eat. Developed for the military, they last 5 to 10 years, require no cooking, and contain full meals with desserts and heaters. Used in hurricanes and wars, they're the ultimate convenience food. 4 is wheat berries, whole, unprocessed wheat kernels that last 30+ years. Grind them into fresh flour when needed. One 50-pound bucket can make over 100 loaves of bread. They can also be sprouted or boiled into porridge. 3 is hardtack, the original survival biscuit. Made of flour, water, and salt, it's baked until rock hard. Union soldiers called it $2. It lasts centuries if dry. Shackleton took it to Antarctica. It's not tasty, but it keeps you alive. 2 is pemmican, the original energy bar. Made by indigenous peoples from dried meat, fat, and berries, it lasts 50+ years. Lewis and Clark survived on it. High in protein, fat, and calories, it's survival fuel at its finest. And number 1 is peanut butter, the ultimate survival food. 2 tablespoons deliver 200 calories, 8 grams of protein, and healthy fats. It doesn't need refrigeration, lasts 10 to 15 years unopened, and tastes the same after a decade. Used by UNICEF to treat malnutrition, it's also a morale booster. In a crisis, a spoonful of peanut butter isn't just food, it's therapy. So there you have it, 20 foods that don't just survive time, they master it. From ancient grains to modern marvels, each one is a quiet guardian in your pantry. No fridge, no power, no problem. Just food that lasts and keeps you going when everything else fails. Now go fill those shelves. The future might be unpredictable, but your pantry doesn't have to be.